Welcome everyone to EA Global Summit 2021. This is Sujat from EA Global Summit organizing team. It's our privilege to have Madhava Narayanan in our presence, the product management at Sparx System Prolaborate, presenting EA integration. And I also thank everyone for your interest in joining this session and for your kind information that we will be muting all the participants throughout the session. So please use the chat window to drop your question to the speaker. Your queries will be answered at the end of the session. We request everyone to visit the allotted Microsoft Teams channel to communicate with Madhav after the session. Madhav have accepted to stay in the channel to have one-to-one discussion and answer all your queries. The link to the MS Team channel is posted in the chat window for your quick reference. If you have any difficulties in connecting to Teams, please let us know through the chat window or write us at registration@eaglobalsummit.com. Thanks once again for your interest and support to EA Global Summit 2021. Without any further ado, I'll request Madhav to start his presentation. Over to you, Madhav.
Thanks a lot, Sujat. Hello, everybody. Let me share my screen. Can you please make me the person? Yes. Sujat, can you see my screen?
Uh, yeah, Madhav, perfect.
Okay. Okay, so hello again. So what are we going to check here? So this is a very broad topic, EA integrations. So I'll just set the right context and give some background behind what we are going to see. But let's, on a high level, what we are going to see is what are all the available capabilities with respect to integrations in the Sparx ecosystem. And not just that, we'll also talk about the possibilities of what you can do. So coming to the agenda, first we'll look at and we'll get an overview of what's on the table when it comes to integrations. Then we'll dive deep into the capabilities and how you can really get started with that. And okay, so before we move on to our next slide to actually see the tools and what they do, let me give some background on hey, why do we have such a session to give an overview of everything in a, let's say, quick session of 30 to 45 minutes. So what we have been seeing and what we have been seeing for many years, and what a lot of, let's say, customers are also expecting is integration. So integration is one of the hottest capabilities in the ecosystem. But when it comes to understanding of what's going on, so I can be almost sure that every day or every other day there is always at least one question on integration. So it is like, hey, can I integrate with Jira? And we say yes, you can do it with Prolaborate and Proclouds. Or some understand these tools, some doesn't understand. They are like, hey, what is Prolaborate? What is a cloud server doing here? What do they do? Who is it for? Or somebody asks, hey, we are importing and exporting between, let's say, ServiceNow and EA. Is there a tool there? And we say Procloud server. Again, hey, what is this? What do I have to do? So every other day there is a question on a lot of tools out there, and it's like we could see that they are interested in one specific tool. We are, let's say, addressing it there, and there are a lot of resources based on specific questions we have posted in our, let's say, YouTube channels. We have posted a lot of articles and blogs, but what we saw is there is no one source where you can get an understanding of all the capabilities and also the possibilities. So that's the goal and agenda of these sessions. So if you are interested in, let's say, integrating, and if you're looking for ways to integrate and you're not sure what is happening here and what is possible, how do you get started? So this is the place. But if you're looking at very specific technical details or very deeper let's say, guides on how to set up, so that is not the agenda here. While posting the video, we can give you references of all, or please feel free to reach out. We can, you get the awareness of integrations here, and from there we can definitely take you to where you want to go. Okay, with that, so that's the background of why we thought we should have a session. And with that, let's go to our all in all slide. So there are five ways how you can integrate or utilize EA's integration capabilities. And when I say EA, so it's not enterprise architects capabilities. I'm talking about, let's say, the integration capabilities that are in the ecosystem. And so there are five, and we'll talk more about these five one by one, so that you can understand better rather than I explaining the single words here. And so you could see that there are orange boxes and green boxes. So orange is basically Prolaborate, and Prolaborate mostly many would have heard. If not, it's the online sharing and collaboration software. The certain integration capabilities are provided by Pro Cloud Server. And just to be clear, it's not a cloud server, it's the REST API layer that you can use to integrate EA models with tools. So that it also has certain capabilities down there. And you could see the list of tools here. There are various set of tools that are where, let's say, various kinds of issues are there, various kinds of use cases are there, and we are going to see how this Prolaborate and ProCloud Server are solving these use cases, and how you can even get started with them. So on a high level, so you could see five capabilities or integration capabilities here. Let's see one by one. So first one is publishing using links. Okay, maybe let's forget that title here. Hey, what are we talking about here? So what are we? The problem that we are talking about is basically, so you are an architect, and you have documentation in, could be in wide range of places, SharePoint, Confluence, Joomla, or in your internal web portals as well. And what is happening? And so what is the use of knowledge management? Store the knowledge. And how do you store the architecture information? Mostly, so this is from our extensive experience with, let's say, a lot of hundreds of companies. Almost everybody does a copy paste. And what is the problem? Obviously, copy paste is static, and basically the whole story. I am an architect who is an EA user who knows how to use EA, and who has been trained and learned, right? So uh, I'm that user. I go to EA, I browse to that diagram, I take a screenshot, I go to my knowledge management tool, any one of this, I paste it. So let's say I'm pasting a process. I belong to a largest bank. I want to educate all my employees of my business process and workflows. I paste it and write a documentation around it. Let's say a few weeks down the line, there are some changes. What do? I copy paste it again, and let's say I have diagrams in over 50, 100, 200 documents, or hundreds of documents are maintained by the architecting team. So what's happening? They're always copy pasting. So that's obviously a big problem, right? So what solution we have for that? Let's take a look. So this is basically a very simple, let's say, technique or capability. So what we do is, so I am inside SharePoint, and what I do is I log into Prolaborate, and I get a link from Prolaborate. So the complete embedded link is available to me. So I don't have to be an HTML expert or so to understand this. I just do a copy from there. I just paste it and I publish it. So what is this? So this looks like an image, right? And then this will look like an image to the end users, but we, the publishers, will know that this is not an image, but a dynamic content that is generated and shown here from directly from EA. So coming back to that process example, or it could be any diagram or information, what's really happening, any change there, any, so as I said, 50, 100 or hundreds of documents, no problem at all. You just embed the link once and you can basically forget it. So there is no daily work or frequent work of copy pasting over and over and over. So the whole work of daily regular maintenance of knowledge management is all solved. And what's the kind of efforts I had to do? Get a link and paste it here. And so this links, we'll see two capabilities here. So just showing the diagram as it is, or we can even add an embed an interactive view. Interactive view in the sense, let's see. So this is basically if the audience are like, hey, we have shared a process, but I don't know what this activity does, what that activity does. And what I'm forced to do, I'm copy pasting nodes from EA. So we don't want you to do that as well. You can embed interactive views where the users, the final consumers of the information can click around and understand more about what's really shared, what kind of model information is shared, and obviously avoiding copy paste of information, not just in terms of actual diagrams, but also tags and other let's say documents, linked documents. So it could be anything that's available in Prolaborate. Basically, you're not at all copy pasting such information here. And to quickly show the experience in Confluent, so this is something which is embedded in Confluent. So I could so this this use case, you are talking about requirements. So the user can click on the requirements to check the nodes, the traceability, and you could see what's happening here. So this is a linked document which has a lot of requirement in EA, and I am a user of Confluence, but still I'm able to read it completely. And this could be a Word document or any kind of information. You could use your models as one single repository to maintain a lot of information. No problem at all in making it available in any web portals. So, and what's the limit of this? There's basically no limit. So if you are enhancing your usage of Prolaborate, and if you want to publish some dashboards, and if you want to publish more charts and visualizations and analysis views, so it could be anything. Prolaborate can do a lot. And if you're doing a lot with Prolaborate, and if that could add value to your documentation, so links, there is literally no limit on what you can do with the links. So this is basically the publishing information using links. And as I said, a lot of any web portal is supported as long as iframe or HTML support is there. And getting started and using Prolaborate installation plus the support. I want to mention this explicitly because we have seen some organizations, for some reasons, they don't support it. So if you can install Prolaborate, if this is supported, you are free, you can feel free to share any live information, any, in the sense, as I said, diagrams, dashboard, charts, visualization reports from EA in your web portals. Okay, so that's let's say overall elaborate linking strategy. And what are we looking at here? So here it's basically the same problem what we spoke in the last slide, but there is an additional problem for these guys. What is that? So hey, there could be two problems actually. So as I said, iframe or HTML. Hey, we are one of the largest, let's say, military organization, or we are into government administration, and hey, iframe is something that's not that cannot be used. Or it could be that hey, there is a requirement to go into Prolaborate and come back to Confluent. So let's say even that sounds like a problem to the users. So that is these users problem. And what can these guys do? Let's have a look. Okay, so what are we doing here? So we are again back to Confluence, but we are not going to Prolaborate to get any links. I just clicked on add, and you could see there is something called Prolaborate. Let me click on it to see what it does. So there is a window opening up, and there is something called repository. So this is basically your EA repository or repositories. And so if there is more than one, you can use this. But if not, it's just a no-brainer. It's automatically selected. And what I do next, I'm just typing in something from my mind. I guess the diagram had the word, or I know the diagram had the word goals, but I'm not typing in the whole word. A simple plain text. I have further filters, but I'm just entering the text. And okay, so what is this? What is happening here? What is this business goals showing up in within my Confluent? This is basically live search that ran on your EA repository, and the results are getting shown here. So technically speaking, there is Prolaborate and Procloud server and a lot of invisible layers behind this search. But what you are seeing and what anybody who is just a Confluence user is seeing, I search for something, I got something. So there is this info icon on the right. So if the users want to know more, hey, is this the right diagram? Is this in the right path? Okay, you can click on info to learn more. Okay, so I've confirmed with just let's say few seconds, I was able to search the whole repository, and I can add, and let me update to see what is this showing. So this is again the let's say solution or value proposition is same. You don't have to do any copy paste ever again. But you could see the kind of user experience. The last was not bad, but this takes it to the extreme simplified level. 2 clicks to go to the window, one simple search, you select the diagram, embed, forget. So all in within Confluent. So if your let's say users are somewhat aware of kind of let's say information in the architecture, you could even open it up to your users, the Confluence users. If someone wants to publish something, they don't have to go to the EA team, architecting team, solution architects or enterprise architects to probe them what's happening in the model and come back here. I mean, it's the user experience is pretty obvious, right? They can search for themselves and publish information. And again, it's not just about diagrams, but let me quickly show what exactly happens with a plugin. So let's say I'm going to publish application portfolio. And again, I just type in app keyword and I update. Okay, again, the live diagram is here, but additionally, okay, what is this? So in a similar way of what we saw through links, this is again EA information, obviously, but what kind of information? So this is basically customized list of tags from EA. So customization is a simple one-time activity in Prolaborate, but let's say once you have done it, so again, if you have been publishing let's say tags and charts based on that, or let's say you have taken out an Excel of this application data and uploading it in EA, no, you never have to do that again. All the information are again live. Importantly, it's all live. It's all in a very simple report. And again, as I said, to repeat, it's customized information. If I want my audience to just see a specific set of information, I just show that. So nothing more, nothing less. And what else can you do? Okay, so this is primarily, let's say, the value proposition, but let's say if you want to share a package full of requirements that you want your audience to read, or if you want to share some requirements directly or use cases with scenarios or requirements with constraints, any information, class with attributes and operations, or it could be any information out there, you want to publish it, yes, it's not limited to diagrams. You can publish a lot more information with the plugin here. And coming back here, so where can we do it? So as of now, Confluence is supported, and in it all the possible deployment styles, cloud or server or data center is supported. And how do you get started? So again, Prolaborate installation is a prerequisite. Number two is a very simple one-time configuration of the plugin in Confluence. So basically a simple installation from the Atlassian marketplace and a simple, let's say 3 to 4 fields filling up, as simple as that, which would be pretty obvious. So there are a lot of, let's say, controls and FAQs that we get often. So I'm intentionally not going into that in the interest of time, but as I said, we'll share, there is another webinar and there are a lot of resources on this. Feel free to let us know or check out this video when it is available. We'll add all the reference link. So this video should or would serve as a single source of reference for all your questions on integrations. Okay, so what's coming next? Okay, so this is a messaging app, and the problem is again problem, no different problem here. Hey, we are let's say Microsoft Shop, or we are a great user of Teams, and when we want to get feedback, or when we want to share something, when we want to check with someone on something, what do? We copy a diagram in EA, paste it here, and what happens? So there is some discussions are going on, and I go back and make changes and come back and paste it here. Or it could be information availability as well. I go to Prolaborate and get a link and paste it here. So or I fetch a document and paste it here. So it's a extremely convenient communications or messaging tool, but making model information available seems to be not so user friendly. So what do we have in store for this? So let's say someone wants to start or ask feedback from a user. So this guy, or I am in Teams, I'm tagging my team member and I'm asking him to review. And what do I do? You could see I just clicked on an app in my Teams. So this is the app there at the bottom. I clicked on it and it shows me a search field. And what do I do? I search for a payments process and I get an immediate result again, and it's embedded and sent. Okay, so what has happened? So the other guy has opened his chat now, and what he's seeing is basically he has got a message from me asking for feedback, and he's seeing a process himself here as a thumbnail, and he's additionally seeing something called open in Prolaborate. And what is he's okay? Let's say clicks on it. So he clicks on it, he's directly taken to that process, and obviously all the customized and specific views and information are seen by him, and he feels certain changes needs to be done. He wants the user to add a gateway. Okay, I got the feedback from him. I click on the link again and I do few clicks. So this is a side feature, not the focus, but you could see I just did two clicks from Prolaborate. I'm taken to EA, and that is called the EA diagram editor. And so you could see how overall it could add value in collaboration. So if there is a comment, you don't have to open EA and browse your way to the process and open it. All you do is two clicks, you are here on the diagram. So this is a new capability. So if anybody has not upgraded to recent version, can upgrade to check this out. And okay, so this architect adds a gateway, and he says, hey, I've done it. Please check the same link to see the changes. So basically that's pretty much it. So that guy can click on the same link and go back. So this is you could understand that you don't again have to copy paste anything. If you're an extensive user of Teams, or if Teams is indeed your messaging app, and you are so Prolaborate is ideally the collaboration platform. But let's say your users, or at times you are asked to collaborate and get feedback on your team. So you could use this app to quickly share live links and get feedback and discuss. Again, not having to go to EA, not having to share copy paste. I guess we spoke about the problems with it. So those problems and complexities and the long UX for you are not there. So, okay, so this is possible in Teams, and what do you really have to do to get started? So Prolaborate installation again, and this app, so this is called an app from a Microsoft Store point of view. You need to install it and configure it once. So once you have done it, so whatever we saw will happen. Okay, so we are actually silently moving away from a different kind of use case. So far, what we saw, knowledge management, publishing information in another place to make it convenient for the user. So it's kind of, let's say, one way. And in Teams, again, sharing links and sharing informations easily. So here we are, let's say, moving a step ahead. Now we are not talking about making just model information available in one place, but basically any linking information in tools. And okay, coming to the problem. So problem is you could be you are obviously a Sparx CA user, all the architecture and model information are stored in it. And also you are a Jira or a Azure DevOps user. You store all the, let's say, project management, or if you are doing software architecting, all your stories and bugs and issues and requirements are there in Jira. And how do you link them? How do you uh, share information with this audience? Okay, hey, I'm an architect. I'll take a document and upload it in the Jira ticket. Hey, I'm a Jira user. I'll copy a link and put it in, let's say, EA objects or an artifacts description. It's a completely manual task, and obviously this could be done only by someone who is an EA user, as taking out a document and sharing or putting it link back into EA. You should be aware of. And again, EA to Jira is not dynamic, although Jira to EA is dynamic link. So you are basically sharing static information uploaded there. So let's say in the same scenario, a requirement changes, a user story changes, some other information changes. Okay, let me upload the document again. So that is the problem we are targeting here. And let's see the solution. So I am in Prolaborate again, and I click on an use case, and from the customized list of information, again a capability of Prolaborate, I'm just looking at a few fields or tags and information that the admin has configured. In one of them is Jira user story. Okay, what is this? Let's click on add to see. So I click on add and something opens up here. And what is this something? It says project is new product and there are some information. What is this? This is basically the project is the Jira project. And okay, obviously it's a demo project and all the items in it. So be it epics or issues, I mean, you can control, I have not controlled it. So all the information out there are getting listed here. I could select or search and select. Basically, I can get to the information I want. And what I do is I select, I click on add and click on save. So 1, 2, 3 clicks is maximum what I did. So okay, three clicks, what I did. What is the benefit of these 3 clicks? So number one, let's think about EA stakeholders. EA stakeholders are Prolaborate users. So they have a say, they want to give feedback, they want to consume information through an online, easily consumable online interface. Okay, they are here, they are looking at a view. Let's say this was part of a dashboard. And while looking at it, they are seeing some boxes or overlay icons here. And okay, they are curious and they click on it. And what are they seeing? So basically they are looking at the list of Jira links. So here it's a single example of a user story that is linked. Okay, so there is a story that is linked. So what is that story? Do I have to go to Jira to know more? No, I can just click on preview to check out all the information, could see the information here and read more about that story as well. And I need to go only if I want to edit. And so navigation is possible, but we are actually moving into our next audience or next experience, let's say. So this is a Jira user, let's assume primarily, and they're working on a story and they want to know more about the use case because of which this story is here. And you could see that a link back to the model is automatically introduced here in the Jira. house that. So it's because of the 3 links that we did in Prolaborate. So this Jira user clicks on the link, he's taken back to that use case, and he could see all the notes and information and basically a lot. With the Prolaborate, you could also see what other information are under that. So getting Jira users easy access to model. Okay, two use cases or users done. Now what about EA users? How do they get access? You could see there is, I clicked on the use case again in EA. I could see a tag called Jira, and there is a link. Let's click on browse. So where are we? Now we are back again to the same item. So it could be a EA stakeholder. Okay, they can preview and understand and go back to Jira with a click. There is this Jira user, let's say a developer or a tester, they want to understand use case, single click again. EA user, again, one more click back here. And what's the kind of efforts that's needed? 3 clicks. So you could, and it's many to many kind of links, and there is literally no limitations as such on what information you could link. So it's pretty open and extremely flexible integration. So you could see how the problem is solved. So you'd never have to embed a document or copy paste link manually, and then the kind of efforts is extremely minimal. Okay, so that's basically the major solution, but let's quickly look at other capabilities as well. So this is my dashboard in Prolaborate. Let's say I'm again the Prolaborate user or a business stakeholder. I'm landing on this view, and what am I seeing on I just log in and I'm here. What am I seeing? I could see a few charts that are giving me an overview of requirements in EA, and there is a diagram from EA directly shown as a thumbnail for easy reference. And as I scroll down, or I don't even scroll down, it was already there. So as I scroll down a little bit, I could see something. What is this? This is the Jira report. So in the middle of everything, in summarized information to live model information, I'm getting a live summary report as well. So all in one in a single place. And so I can click on the table view to more information, and I can again preview from the report itself. So if you want to share some filter or filtered reports, that again is easier through this. So this is the second capability. It's not just about linking a set of information, not manually linking, but a set of information. And do we need to do something manual? Absolutely no. So once that is configured with a few simple clicks in the dashboard, you update the filter, or the filter gets updated, more information gets added, no problem at all. So it was just stories a few moments back. I updated the filter in Jira and did a quick refresh here, and I'm able to see all the information. So that is pretty much the capability. So there is a creation, I would say, I would put a disclaimer here, a limited creation capability using which, so if you are in Prolaborate and your use case or problem is not linking, but creating, hey, while I'm browsing the models, I could see some issues, I want to raise it. No problem, you can raise it from Prolaborate itself. So that is the third capability of the Jira and ADO integration. So, okay, what we saw is Jira, ADO, absolutely no difference. So technically it's a different tool, but capability wise, UX wise, UI wise, everything is same. You will just see a different icon. So that's pretty much it. And so both server and cloud versions are supported. And what do you need to get started? So there's no special, let's say, configuration and plugin install on these app sites. It's just the Prolaborate installation, and again a one-time integration from Prolaborate only. So you install Prolaborate, you go to open it and give some details of these softwares and you are done. Mostly we haven't faced much issues there because it's all properly authenticated with what information is shared. So no special or complicated steps to integrate here. Okay, uh, so what are we entered into? So we are in the, so if you are thinking about the tool, so we have actually moved on to Pro Cloud Server. So the Confluence or web portals or Teams and Jira and DevOps, you could see it was driven by Prolaborate, or it was driven or created for business stakeholders. So Prolaborate is for business stakeholders and the tool is Prolaborate. Now we are moving on to, let's say, kind of advanced modeling. It could be modeling as well, modeling or data aggregation use cases. And what's driving this? It is Pro Cloud Server. And where does the magic happen? It's in EA. So obviously the audience here we are talking about are EA users. And okay, what sort of problem we are talking? I can give some, I mean, okay, just again to share, I think I did not explicitly say whatever problem statements I said, I guess most of you could relate to, because it's not something we made up. It's, as I said, every other day we get a support query, just pulling examples from there. I'll take a few strong examples which you have heard majorly. ServiceNow. Okay, hey, we maintain all our architecture information in EA, but where does the application layer reside? ServiceNow. Where does the updated layer and information reside? ServiceNow. And hey, how do you really get to know what's happening at the architecture level? It's from the model, but then there is one part of the major chunk that resides here. What are you guys doing? We take an Excel from ServiceNow and we uploaded in EA. And who does it? Hey, we have a team. Actually, with a bank, there was a team that was actually doing it on a regular basis. So they came in. Hey, we daily do or almost do Excel. There's a lot of changes happening. We cannot keep the EA model data stale. And so what do? We do this as our major time work. And that's the example. That's the kind of problems with other tools as well. I mean, the other use cases are, hey, we majorly work on all the requirements in EA, but how does it get assigned to people? Hey, it's through Jira or DevOps. And how do you do it? So we take an Excel, or we take an Excel and give it to Jira admin or Jira user, and they create stories there and assign it to audience. Hey, how do you keep them in sync? Hey, it's a manual process, and you can take ALM or doors. So similar, so the use cases are slightly different, but the problem is two set of information in two different places. There is a need to either let's say aggregate or keep them in sync. And how is it done? It's extremely manual process. And you could see, so there is a prerequisite of a EA user, because these are all happening in EA, and also an admin on the other side who has other tasks as well. So how do we really solve this complicated problem? So let's go to EA. As I said, these integrations are targeted at EA users, and I go to EA and few navigations. So this is the list of projects in Jira that I'm viewing in EA. So I select new product in the same way as we saw in Prolaborate, and I say user stories. And when I clicked on user stories, so there is this, let's say red, gray circled items. You could see on the type, it says testing. And there are these EA icons, obviously requirements. And what is happening here? So there are some items that I've linked already, but this is basically all the items that are part of the filter called user stories in Jira. That is getting displayed in EA, and I want to link something. So here there are multiple capabilities. So ServiceNow capability is mostly linking and syncing the information. The other Jira example we saw, creation from EA to Jira. The other way around is also possible. Let's look at them one by one. So let's say, hey, ServiceNow problem, linking and keeping information in sync. So what do? I drag and drop the item. what happens, it's linked, as simple as that. And once linked, what happens? So I'm in, again, not moving anywhere, but I just click on a tab called external, and you could see priority, progress, project, reporter, issue type, due dates. Obviously these are not tags for properties in EA, but in Jira. So I mean, it's the same with other tools as well. The capabilities doesn't differ. If it's in service now item, CI, it would be, again, you will be seeing that information here. And as we scroll down, so we are seeing the links, and I say right click and I say open in external browser. So I'll be taken to Jira, and so I just wanted to share. The navigation is as simple as that. And okay, so that is the linking. We'll see the syncing shortly. Hey, I want to create a Jira item out of a requirement in EA. What do? I click on that hamburger icon and I say create linked item. And what happens? It's created and linked automatically. So it's automatically created there. And okay, so it could be a linked item, or I have created and linked. So both the cases, there is a link that is established. And hey, we talked about keeping information, and say, hey, how does that happen? So let's say in this example, the requirement is from EA, and we have created a story in Jira, and we missed to add some proper notes in the EA requirements. So I've added it now. And what do I do next? Or what do you see here? There is a small indicator that says, hey, there is a change here. And what do? I say right click and I say push. And what happens when we push information from here to there? Basically, the information is pushed and the Jira item is updated right now. So I just shared an example of a description. You could update tags, or you could actually do a lot here. There is extreme flexibility in mapping fields. Say, hey, I updated status and it should get updated here. It is still possible. So it's not just nodes and let's say limited controllable capability. And so that is basically the major use cases that we spoke. Hey, there are information on both sides. We want to keep it in sync without export and import and a lot of information. And I showed the push and pull for a single item. So it's not, if you have 1,000 applications synced, you don't have to do 1,000 clicks. There is you can click on the hamburger icon and say sync all, and everything would be synced. So maybe one very small manual activity, but there are other ways to enhance this as well. So what I'm talking about is just out of the box capabilities. And so the other way around, if just to share, if I want to create a requirement based on a Jira story, that is also possible. And that's again linked, and I can keep them in sync as I want. And in some tools, I could even go ahead and add comments. So if, for example, in Jira, I can say a comment latest updates pushed from EA, and I send it. And let's go there to see what happened. So basically that comment is available in Jira right now. So this is limited to certain tools, but you could also add comments here. Okay, so what are all the applications that are supported? There is a huge set of applications that are supported. This is something based on what I saw and heard. HP to Jira and Jazz, IBM Doors, multiple products and versions, Polarion recently released, ServiceNow, DevOps, or TFS, and a lot more. And what is needed to do this? This is very similar to the Jira integration that we saw in Prolaborate. You install Cloud Server and do a one-time configuration. Nothing special on either sides. So that is this. And okay, so I have pretty much, I would say, not covered every single capability, as this is a short session, but pretty much covered all the out of the box capabilities that EA's products offer. But obviously, hey, let's say manual syncing is not an option, or we want enhanced syncing, we want enhanced capabilities, we want to do a lot more. No problem at all. So I mean, I would, if you had asked me a few years back, I would have said, hey, that's a big development requirement. But now I'll say it's not a big problem at all because of Pro Cloud Server. So it has all the capabilities as it offers the RESTful API layer. You could do anything and everything. And okay, I'll give an example here. So whoever has heard and used Prolaborate, how is Prolaborate able to do a lot? So the backend layer is basically Pro Cloud Server. And if Prolaborate can do 1,000 things, obviously there's a lot of work happened there. But if you are talking about possibilities and capabilities and your critical requirements that could save a lot of time, so it is definitely possible. And what you would need to do such custom integration, so nothing complex, or I will not say nothing major complex, but from a installation point of view, it's just Pro Cloud Server, and obviously it's all APIs and devs. You should either have a development team inside your organization, or no problem at all. There are and based on the region that you are, so Sparx services, so all the companies are hands-on or almost every day working on this API layer. They could easily get this integration done and basically save you hundreds and thousands of hours of your users' time. Okay, so we have actually perfectly completed or taken more time. 1 minute more than what was intended, but let's quickly pick up the questions, or let me quickly summarize and complete. So what we saw in this session is basically all the possibilities and capabilities of the integrations when it comes to EA and the tools you use on a daily basis. We started with the link-based integration of Prolaborate. The use case is knowledge management systems, any knowledge management system. And next we saw how we can use Confluence plugin, which is installed within Confluence to publish information using a few simple clicks. Then we saw sharing using Teams app. Again, using simple clicks, you are making live information available through persistent links. Then we looked at how we can enable linking of information to enable information accessibility and availability to the wider audience. Then we moved on to much more advanced use cases with using Pro Cloud Server, like linking and syncing and pushing and pulling and aggregating and moving data around. And if all these capabilities does not really fulfill your critical requirements, no problem, we have custom integration easily available for to make anything possible for you. So thanks for the time, everyone. I'll request Sujat to share some questions.
Thanks, Madhav. I thank Madhav on behalf of everyone for making this session a wonderful one. As we said earlier, now is the time for Q&A, and we will be reading out a question from the chat, and Madhav will be answering. There is a question from Steve that if you have only EA and not Prolaborate or PCS, is it possible to integrate with external system like ServiceNow or Jira?
I know that's not possible out of the box, unless again if there are some other different add-ins or plugins that are there. So EA, just EA with no other, let's say, apps like PCS or Prolaborate or other plugins, I don't think integration is possible.
Okay, thank you, Madhav. There is another question from Alexandra. How can I get in Confluence a linked document together with embedded? Sorry,
So
together with embedded element using Prolaborate macros.
So that should be pretty much the same way, but the overall consumption would not be within Confluence. It would be a single click, and basically rest of the experience would be same. So what we saw in the demo session is a user using a link, clicking on an object and viewing the information. With the macro, it's pretty much an easier way, but the overall linked document would not be visible within, let's say, that small iframe window. A new link will open, but model consumption is same. The users, any users would be able to access all the information, including the link document.
Thank you, Madhav. There is a question from Matthews. Is it possible to get the link to the image without Prolaborate, but with WebBA or ProCloud Server?
The image, I assume we are talking about that first ever link that we took from links, which was looking like an image, but obviously a dynamic content there. I don't think specific image link is possible through WebBA. Through WebBA, as far as we have seen, that in that full iframe link is possible, the complete page link, but that only part of that specific diagram link, I don't think it's possible through a BA or PCS. PCS obviously you cannot generate links from there.
Thank you, Madhav. We're still receiving a lot of questions, but we will post all these questions in Teams because due to we have another meeting next to it. So we request everyone to visit the team channel.
Thanks a lot, Sujat. Thanks a lot, everyone. Hope I sincerely hope this session gave a good overview of what is possible and what are all the capabilities are there. And as Sujat said, we'd be happy to answer more questions in Teams, and feel free to reach out to our support teams or Prolaborate at sparksystems.com to if you have more questions or you want us to dig deeper into what we saw today.
Thanks, Madhav. And thanks to everyone for your time and support throughout the session. Hope it is very informative and gives deeper insight of the topic. Now, Madhav will be available in MS Teams to have a detailed discussion and answer more questions. The link to the MS Team is posted in the chat window for your quick reference. If you have any difficulties in connecting to Teams, please reach us at registrations at eaglobalsummit.com. Thanks once again, everyone, and looking forward to host you all in another wonderful section. Thanks, Madhav.
Thanks, Sujat.